Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to learn a powerful life lesson through a simple story. I'm about to tell you, the broken pot, and by the end of this video you'll see how even our flaws can bring unexpected beauty into the world. This story will teach us about perspective, purpose, and how what we think of as weaknesses can actually be our greatest strengths. So get ready for a surprising twist that might change how you see yourself and your challenges. Let's dive in. There once lived a kind old farmer in a quiet, rural American town. Every morning he walked down to a nearby creek with two heavy water buckets balanced on a wooden pole across his shoulders. He filled them both and carried them back home along a rocky dirt road. Now, one of his buckets was brand new and perfect, and it always delivered a full load of water at the end of the trip. But the other bucket had a large crack running down its side. By the time the cracked bucket reached home, it was only half full. Most of the water had dripped out along the path. For 2 long years this went on every single day. The perfect bucket took pride in its job, quietly bragging, "Look at me! I'm perfect and I always carry a full load." The cracked bucket, on the other hand, felt useless and sad. It thought, "I must be a failure. I can only bring half the water every time. I'm flawed and worthless." The bucket was so ashamed of its imperfection that it felt miserable carrying water each day. One afternoon, as the farmer paused by the stream, the cracked bucket finally spoke up in a shaky, apologetic voice. "Farmer, I am so sorry. I know I'm cracked and I leak water. I feel like I do more harm than good. My crack in the side means half the water is lost by the time we get home. I'm ashamed of myself and I want to apologize for letting you down." The bucket felt sure that the farmer was frustrated. The farmer smiled kindly and said, "Come with me and look at the path." He gestured down the trail they had just walked. All along one side of the path were rows of beautiful wildflowers and green grass. The flowers were vibrant, blooming in bright colors under the warm sun. The other side of the path, where the perfect bucket walked, was barren and dry. The bucket was surprised. "I don't understand," it said. "Why are there flowers on this side of the path, but none on the other side?" The farmer explained, "I have always known about your crack. That's why I planted wildflower seeds along your side of the trail. Every day, as we walked back from the creek, your leaks watered those seeds. You were helping them grow without even knowing it. For 2 years, I have been able to pick these beautiful flowers to decorate our table and give to our neighbors. Without you being just the way you are, cracked as you are, there would be no special beauty to grace our home." The cracked bucket was stunned. Suddenly it saw itself in a new light. It realized its supposed flaw had actually helped create something wonderful. The bucket had thought of itself as useless, but in truth it had been watering the garden all along. It learned that every drop it leaked made the world a bit more beautiful. What the bucket thought was a weakness turned out to be a hidden strength. Imagine seeing yourself the way the farmer saw the bucket. Sometimes we focus only on what's missing or broken in our lives, not realizing how those very imperfections help others. This is a powerful reminder that our cracks, our faults or mistakes, might be planting seeds for something positive. In fact, the drip of water from the bucket is like a real-world irrigation trick. Scientists call it drip irrigation, and it's known to be one of the most efficient ways to water crops. By watering slowly at the roots, it uses water very efficiently. In a way, the broken bucket invented an ancient form of drip irrigation all by itself. Each drop that fell on the flowers was like nature's perfect watering can. This story is actually an old folk tale from Eastern cultures. Some say Chinese or Indian folklore. Even today it shows up in classrooms and business trainings. It's amazing how an ancient parable still teaches us something new. There's a similar idea in Japanese culture too. They practice Kintsugi, the art of repairing broken pottery with gold. Instead of hiding the cracks, they highlight them, celebrating the piece's history and imperfections. The crack bucket's lesson is the same. It's about embracing flaws. Kintsugi literally means golden joinery, and it symbolizes that things can be more beautiful because they were broken. So what did we learn from this story? First, perspective is everything. The broken bucket needed a change of perspective to see its own value. Just like the bucket, we all have flaws or things we wish were different. It could be a mistake you made, a personal weakness, or a part of yourself you don't like. But this tale reminds us to look at those imperfections in a new way. A problem you see might actually be helping someone or something else in ways you don't expect. Second, everyone and everything has a unique purpose. The farmer in our story understood that the cracked bucket's purpose wasn't to carry a full load of water, but to water the flowers. Likewise, each of us has qualities that serve a purpose. Maybe you're empathetic because of something you went through, or creative in the way you solve problems because of your background. These qualities may have felt like weaknesses, but they might be your secret strengths. Remember, flaws can become strengths. When you feel broken or inadequate, think of the broken bucket planting flowers. This story showed us that imperfection can give life and beauty, in both literal and metaphorical gardens. As the TCM World blog puts it, sometimes the cracks or imperfections create something unexpected and beautiful, and every being has a unique purpose. Now, before we end, let's quickly review some key words from today's story and what they mean. Imperfection, a fault or flaw, something that isn't perfect. Perspective, a way of thinking about or looking at something, a point of view. Resilience, the ability to recover from difficulties. Toughness and the capacity to keep going. Purpose, the reason for which something exists, the intention or goal. Unique, being the only one of its kind, special and different from all others. What we learned. This story teaches us that our flaws and cracks can lead to unexpected beauty and purpose. The things we think are our weaknesses can actually be our strengths if we change our perspective. Every one of us carries a bucket. When life leaks out through our cracks, remember it might be watering someone else's garden. Embrace your imperfections, because they might just be the very thing the world needs. And that's today's lesson from the broken pot.